My coworker turned every 911 call into therapy, so I made sure her last call killed her career. My coworker delayed every 911 call she responded to for 3 years, and management still wouldn't do anything about it. People literally died because she couldn't shut up long enough to get an address. Meg wasn't just annoying, she was lethal. It started small with rookie mistakes. She picked up a fender bender call, she spent 17 seconds talking about her own accident, then a noise complaint was over 30 seconds on her own neighbor problems. I tried once. Maybe get the location before the emotional support? She patted my hand like I was a child. Sweetie, when you've been doing this as long as I have, you'll understand. Connection saves lives. A year in at that location changed everything. A diabetic caller, slurring his words, begging for help. Meg launched into her father's insulin journey while the man tried to say Birch Street. He passed out at Burr. We found him 40 minutes later when we traced his cell, barely breathing. Internal review called it a learning opportunity and sent Meg to a communication workshop. She skipped it for a longer lunch. Year 2, I started keeping a different kind of log, not just timestamps anymore. Bodies. A child called about a house fire, said he had his sibling with him. Meg shared her kitchen fire trauma before directing him to leave, but she didn't tell him to check the handle to see if it was hot. The backdraft. The youngest was 4. The family tried suing for $8 million. You know what management did? Promoted Meg to senior dispatcher. Actually used the lawsuit in her promotion justification. Maintained exceptional compassion during tragedy. Other dispatchers had a group chat called Meg Watch, where we tried to plan ways to work around her. By year 3, she was training new hires, teaching her method. I tried everything. State board, anonymous complaints, even called a reporter once. Legal buried it, and I got a final warning. Each attempt just gave her more protection. My niece Becky called 911 from a supply closet. I'll never forget the call. I listened to it several times. There was an armed man at the community center where she volunteered, where I'd gotten her the job. There's someone hurting. Meg cut her off. Oh honey, I was in a lockdown once at the mall. The fear is paralyzing. Becky whispers screaming. He's in the hallway. We're in the. You need to breathe. When I heard those shots, 47 seconds of Meg's mall story while Becky tried to give the location. Finally, Becky raised her voice. Please just send. Bang. Line dead. The man found them because Becky had to speak up over Meg's rambling. Becky took a bullet in her shoulder. 2 kids didn't make it. Meg visited Becky in the hospital, brought flowers and her business card. If you ever need to talk about trauma, I understand. The beach posted a selfie with my bandaged niece. Dispatchers care. That's when I realized Meg wasn't going to stop until someone stopped her. Reviewing 3 years of Meg's calls, I found something beautiful. She had a script, 5 trauma stories, perfectly rehearsed. But her childhood abuse story, that was her masterpiece. 3 minutes and 18 seconds of graphic detail, every single time. State recertification was in 2 months. It included live evaluation with actors, outside evaluators. The lead evaluator's name made me laugh out loud in my car. Bianca Crando. Bianca's daughter died begging for help while a dispatcher de-escalated for 4 minutes. Bianca didn't just bury her daughter. She rewrote the entire protocol manual. Location First was basically named after her dead kid. She'd been hunting incompetent dispatchers ever since. First, I got it into Luis's head that Meg should showcase her compassion method for the state. He practically insisted she take the primary evaluation booth. Then I called my friend Ken, worked at one of the testing sites. Owed me. I need you to give your actor very specific instructions. I told him over coffee. The scenario was gorgeous. Domestic violence call, boyfriend getting violent. But here's the twist. He's not abusive. He's having a diabetic seizure. Violent behavior, medical cause, classic misdiagnosis. If Meg starts talking about her daddy issues, she'll send cops to arrest a dying man instead of paramedics to save him. Meg wanted every caller to hear her story. Finally, she'd have an audience that actually needed to listen. Meg sat at the evaluation station when the actor's voice came through, panicked. My boyfriend's acting crazy, breaking things. Meg's eyes lit up like Christmas morning, her favorite. He's shaking, sweating, the shaking. Yes, Meg interrupted. My father's hands shook. Before he'd hit us, Ken's actor kept trying. Not quite. Sort of like a seizure. Violence can build like a seizure of rage. When I was 7, Bianca took off her glasses at 30 seconds. Stood at 1 minute. At 2 minutes, her knuckles were white on the desk. Meg kept going. Her full 3-minute, 18-second performance about daddy's drinking while the caller screamed about insulin and seizures. Every medical keyword buried under her monologue. Bianca walked over and unplugged Meg's headset. You just killed a diabetic man. Meg had sent police to arrest a dying man. Bianca pulled up Meg's call history right there and then. You've been doing this for years. Meg's facing 3 counts of criminal negligence for the deaths her delays caused. Becky is one of the witnesses.